fearing the Most High. And the good deeds shall be of force. You know, what's good is keeping the Most High's laws. We went over that in Romans 7 and 12. The good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Get rid of them. Yep. Finished. Look, look at verse 56. I mean, you can read the whole thing. I'm just going on and on. I love, you know, Ezra, reading Ezra. So that's probably why y'all see I'm caught up in it. Because he asked a lot of questions and he got a lot of answers. And the Most High gave him, like I told you, 204 books. Beyond what it is that we even see here. Verse 56, it says, for while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. See, because he was saying, from 49 on, he was saying, 49 said, for what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death. And this is the thing that's marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. He to consider himself one of the righteous. He was like, hey, man, I'm right along with the 2/3 bunch. You know? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, including himself, being most wicked, including himself, are made vain. It's humility. Like I said, you won't find nobody that had more than was given to Ezra that I know of. 204 books. We only got 80. And we as Israelites, we the ones that primarily dealing with the Apocrypha and the other books of the Bible, the Revised Version Bibles. You see? You got all this information. That's why it will behoove you to study Ezra. It says, then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, like Mashiach say, you overcome, you're going to sit down with, and sup with him. In Revelation 3:20 we read earlier. Got to overcome the wiles of the devil that's going up and down and to and fro on the earth, so we can devour. He shall suffer, as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I said. But this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life, that thou mayest live. Choose you the life of the Most High, that you may live. Or else, choose you death. And that's the destruction. In many ways, from the king of terrors, the Most High. For everything to fall in the hands of living power, y'all. This ain't no joke. This is serious. Real serious. Look at okay, I'll keep on reading Ezra. I'll go on with Ezra. Go to let's look at going to more of the Most High. In our story, we can look at it in Acts the 7th chapter. It's a timeline of a lot of things that happened with us in our story. See me, that's what I'm doing at this moment. Let's start at verse 7. Let's look at verse 2 first. Acts 7 and 2. And he said, Men, brethren, and fathers, hearken, the most high power of glory appeared unto our father Abraham, when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Haran, and said unto him, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I have showed thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Haran. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land, wherein ye now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. As Abraham didn't have any children, but he said, I'm going to give it to you and your seed. And the Most High spake on this wise, that his seed, Abraham's seed, should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years. Here we are. Because see, we wasn't in captivity in Egypt for no 400 years. Because when you look at, let me show you something. Go to Exodus, the first chapter. And you think about we as the Israelites being in captivity now. Let me show you that we ruled Egypt. Exodus, the first chapter, verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful, meaning we had a lot of children, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled with them. You hear that? The land of Egypt was filled with us. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. You see, it's verse 6, and Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. So all this is generations after Joseph. He's already died. So a new king came up over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. He didn't know anything about Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Are we more and mightier than our oppressor today? No. But we were more and mightier than them. Say, come now, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. We ruled for 4 dynasties. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters, just when we went into captivity, taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, the more children we was having. We was getting down. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. You see. So, but you see in the beginning it said we were mightier than them. So, going back to Acts the 7th chapter. Verse 6, and the Most High spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. We done seen that. 400 years, man. Right here. In a nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said the Most High. That's these Edomites. When it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth, and the nation to whom they shall be in bondage, in captivity, slavery, and bondage under, will I judge, said the Most High. And after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so, but we were in Egypt 430 years. And so Abraham begot Isaac and circumcised him on the 8th day. That's what we circumcised the boys on the 8th day. And Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot the 12 patriarchs. The 12 tribes. That's why I say the Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? And the patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt. But the Most High was with him. That's why you seen it was saying when Joseph died, because Joseph was right under the Pharaoh. It's going to tell you. And delivered him out of all his affliction. And the patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph, their brother, into Egypt. But the Most High was with him. See? Most High was with Joseph. Like he be with us. I mean, we might go through a lot of things that, you know, the chastisement of the Most High, but if he with you, he with you. Could be for a reason. And it's just, we done read how we got to go through the perils and the affliction and the chastisement. But he going to deliver us. And delivered him out of all his afflictions. See? And gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. So what you think? When the Pharaoh died, who was in charge? Everybody was used to following what Joseph was telling them. Excuse me. Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction. That's a famine. And our fathers found no sustenance, no food. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And at the second time, Joseph was made known to his brethren. And Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. You notice, we way back in Exodus. So when people talk about the New Testament, all they had was the law and the prophets to go by. That's why we're reading about what they're giving the time of our story, the timeline of our story right here. Verse 13, and at the second time, Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. These are my kinfolk, but it's my people. But they ain't recognize Joseph. He was there looking like an Egyptian, dressing like them and all that. And when we came out of Egypt, we probably looked like Egyptians too, because we was enslaved. We weren't looking like we would normally dress. So we got all, remember, we got all the things of the Egyptians, got all their goods. So we look like Egyptians coming out of Egypt. Their clothes, remember we spoiled them. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him and all his kindred, 75. Score is 20. This says 75. And the Old Testament says 70. So Jacob went down into Egypt and died, he and our fathers, and were carried over into Shechem and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham brought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem. And when the time of the promise drew nigh, which the Most High had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king arose, which knew not Joseph. Joseph been gone. Remember it said generation after him, generation after him. We were ruling during the time that Joseph was there, and a little bit afterward. But understand this. Don't get it twisted, because just like right now, if we still Israelites, we went into captivity under Egyptian because we were wicked. We did things that was wrong and evil in the eyes of the Most High. Therefore, he put the Egyptians on us to put us in captivity that we just read about. Put rigor, bondage on us because we around them. What you think? We know what we supposed to be doing, but what they doing over there? Let me see what they doing over there. Peeping over here, peeping over there. Let me see what they do. Oh, let me do that. Let me do that. You know, like we just read. He said, learn not the way of the heathen, but mingle among the heathen, and learn their works. This is what we did. This is us. This is what we always did. This ain't nothing new. We always looked at peeping over here, peeping over there. What they doing over here, oh, I like that, just fun, or whatever it is. Like he say, sat down to play and disrespect the Most High. That's the deal. We always done that. It says, start at verse 17, but when the time of the promise drew nigh, or near, which the Most High had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king arose, which knew not Joseph. The same dwelt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children to the end they might not live, killing the babies, 2 years old and under. In which time Moses was born, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. So his father and his mother, they would have Moses 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, because he was living with them, and was mighty in words and in deeds. And when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart, which is into his mind, to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So he had to know he was Israelite when he visited his brethren, the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him. He seen one of them being whipped, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote, he killed the Egyptian. But he supposed his brethren would have understood how that the Most High by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. They ain't understand that. You know how we are. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strolled. They in captivity now. Moses done killed one of them. That was he was afflicting them. He was tearing their butts up. He done killed one of them that was afflicting them. They ain't got to worry about him no more. But what? And the next day, as he done killed the Egyptian, he showed himself unto them as they strolled, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren, why do ye wrong one to another? But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? He trying to tell him, hey man, love thy neighbor as thyself, man. Be cool with your brother, man. He thrust him away, said, Who made you a ruler over us? Wilt thou kill me as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday, running a big mouth? So you gonna kill me like you killed the Egyptian yesterday? Then fled Moses at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begot 2 sons. And when 40 years were expired, that's 80 years, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Most High in a flame of fire in a bush. Exodus 3rd chapter, the 2nd verse. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight. And as he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Most High came unto him, saying, I am the Most High of thy fathers. This is his name, the power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. Then Moses trembled and thrust not, behold. That's the Most High's name. The power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. He said that's his name forever and immortal to all generations. Exodus 3:15-16. Then said the Most High to him through the angel, put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. And I have seen the affliction of my people, which is in Egypt, and I have heard their groanings, their cries, and have come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send thee into Egypt. This Moses whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge. You know, that's something they said it here. They say, you gonna kill me like you killed the Egyptian yesterday, right? And so you gotta look at it because they was doing the same thing in the wilderness, murmuring against them, going against them, tripping. They were just tripping. That's what they're doing. This Moses, listen. This Moses, whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did the Most High send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush. He brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. All the miracles that he done. And we knew about it. But he didn't touch us as the Israelites. And still murmuring in the wilderness about anything they can complain about. Murmuring is complaining. This is that Moses which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Most High your power raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear. Talking about Mashiach Yahushua. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel, which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us. So you see, I was a year old that was dealing with us through Ezra. Angel of the Most High was dealing with Moses, always an angel, which is the Holy Spirit, a holy angel. To whom our fathers would not obey, gave us the laws, but our forefathers did not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt, and their minds turned back into Egypt, into captivity. Man, you see how we read how Exodus 1st chapter, how they made us have hard bondage, rigor. That's hard bondage. They took away our straw and said, you gotta go out there and get your own straw, get your own provisions, things that you're gonna need to be able to make the bricks and still make the same amount of bricks. You can imagine they giving us the straw and we steady making bricks, you know. But now we gotta go out and get the things that's necessary, the straw, whatever it is that was necessary to make the bricks. We got to get it ourselves and still have the same amount of bricks that we made when they were giving us what we needed to make the bricks. So that means you got to get a few hours sleep, get up, and go out there and gather all the straw and everything you needed to make bricks, and bring it up there, stack it up there that they would normally have already to give us to make the bricks. We had to do it ourselves. Hard bondage, rigor. It says, let's start at verse 39. It said, to whom our fathers would not obey, they wouldn't follow the law, such commandments and rules, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts, in their minds, turned back again to Egypt. Saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moses, he was up in the mountain 40 days, which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wrought not what is become of him. See, they want to deal with the same thing the Egyptians was doing. And they made a calf in those days and offered sacrifice unto the idol, and rejoiced in the works of their own hands. Then the Most High turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets, O ye house of Israel, have ye offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Yeah, ye took up the tabernacle of Molech, and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. So I'm bringing the Babylonians on you. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moses, that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen. So you see, we're doing wicked things, man. You know, all this disrespectful to the Most High. I mean, we done seen many miracles that the Most High did in Egypt to get him a name. Hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he could get him a name, and nothing happened to us. This should show you how it is, you know, and how we are as a stiff-necked people. Unappreciative. That's why he said, in your affliction, you're going to seek me early. And some people are going to be praying to themselves. He ain't going to be hear you. Because you done created your own power. Like I say, you got to seal the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Because you don't fear the Most High. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, y'all. Because he's going to make you do what he say do when you fear him. But don't wait till calamity and destruction and his indignation come upon you to start to call upon him and doing what he say do. It's gonna be too late then. You see, they don't really want this to come out. They don't want you to know how to be able to please the Most High. They don't want him to have pity on us. The majority of our people and those that's living on this earth are not about the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They call him Mother Nature. They call him El Nino, La Nina, global warming, you name it. Mother Nature, it's a man of war. Most High is his name, Exodus 15:3. They call him a woman. They come up with Bibles with Most High is a man and a woman. I mean, it's just blasphemy, man. We can say whatever, but Mashiach Shai coming back to judge and make war, and he'll be killing people with the law that's coming out of his mouth. As it is written. We read it in Exodus. That was 2nd Ezra 13, 37 and 38. Get an explanation of what he was talking about from 1 to 11. Verse 45, which also our fathers that came after brought in with a Mashiach Yahushai, with Joshua, that's not a Mashiach Yahushai, but that's Joshua, Yahushai, into the possession of the Gentiles, whom the Most High drave out before the face of our fathers unto the days of David. Drove the Gentiles away from us. He gave us their land. And the Most High was with us until the days of David, who found favor before the Most High and desired to find a tabernacle for the Most High power of Jacob. But Solomon built him an house, his son Solomon. And you know, that's why I say the Most High ways and thoughts are not our ways, because David was a murderer and an adulterer. He had Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, killed. He already had sex with Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, got her pregnant, and told Uriah to go home when he came from the war, to go home to his wife. That was a setup. It would been like it was his baby. But he didn't go. So he had Joab put him on the front of the line. Let the Ammonites kill him. So-called Japanese killed him. Then he took Bathsheba to be one of his wives. He already had wives in Hebron. He had wives in Jerusalem. He got her. And the Most High killed their firstborn baby. And Solomon was the next baby after King David and Bathsheba's first baby died. The Most High loved Solomon. That's why he gives us a set of laws, but his ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. They higher than where we at. But he still have mercy and grace that we have to learn, that we have to have for each other. Because mercy and grace is to the Israelites, to the saints. Verse 47, but Solomon built him an house. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as said the prophets. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will you build me, said the Most High? Or what is the place of my rest? Where you going to put the Most High when he said earth is a footstool? They healed of the Most High fit on the earth. Hath not my hand made all these things? Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart, in mind, and ears. Ye do always resist the Holy Spirit, as your fathers did, so do ye. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one. They killed those that showed before the coming of Mashiach Yahushua, whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers. Because they gave him over to the Romans to kill, to put to death, to murder, not kill, but to murder. And the Romans, the so-called white men, put him to death, who have received the law by the disposition of angels, and have not kept it. See, we always dealing with angels, spirits. He begged his angel spirits. His minister is a flaming fire. That fire is the word of the Most High, Jeremiah 23:29. So when they heard these things, they were cut to the heart. They were cut to the mind, and they gnashed on him with their teeth. But he, being full of the Holy Spirit, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of the Most High, and the Mashiach standing on the right hand of the Most High. So he was able to see before they killed him, the Stephen. The Most High opened his eyes to see the fourth dimension, the third dimension, and said, behold, I see the heavens open, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of the Most High. Then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon him with one accord and cast him out of the city and stoned him. So they hated him. They hated him. That's to let you know they hated him, Mashiach. See what it said? And they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears, put their hands on their ears. They don't want to hear it. And ran upon him with one accord and cast him out of the city and stoned him. And the witnesses laid down their clothes at the young man's feet, whose name was Saul. This is Paul. Before he was Paul, they laid their clothes down at the young man's feet, whose name was Saul, who became Paul. And they stoned Stephen, calling upon the Most High and saying, Master, Mashiach, receive my spirit. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice Master, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. He fell down. Let's see. But Saul was part of the wickedness of Israelites, killing those that believed on Mashiach Yahushua. See what it said? I mean, it ain't like a Mashiach Yahushua. Look at verse 57. It said, then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon him with one accord. When he said, behold, I see the heavens open, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of the Most High. They ain't kidding about it, Mashiach Yahushua. That's why I say when you look at the way the world is now and the way they look at, I can see a lot of them, they really don't want to deal with, they hate the fact that they look like us. I'm talking about these folk being preachers that have a problem with being who they are. So they talk about everybody else like they sold this, that, and the third. But when the Most High come, as he say he's coming, you're going to see then. Look, concerning the Mashiach Yahushua, he's prophesied in Isaiah. Look at Isaiah 52, first and foremost, and verse 13. It says, behold, my servant shall deal prudently, very wisely. He shall be exalted and extolled, and be very high. As many were astonished at thee. His visage was so marred more than any man. I mean, he had a lot of scratches, a lot of scratches on his face and so forth. Vicious is the way your appearance. And his form more than the sons of men. Let's go on to 53. It says, verse 2, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of the dry ground. Dry ground means no water. You know, you got to bring forth the truth to our people. That's against the law to even call himself an Israelite. You read that in 2 Maccabees 6:6 in the Greek Empire. He coming in the Roman Empire. So long they done had a long time to be wicked and not following the law. That's why he says he's a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground, he have no form, no comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. So he wasn't handsome at all. He is despised and rejected. Remember, they call him in, he put their hands over their ears. He is despised and rejected of men. A man of sorrows. Excuse me.